everyone. How's everyone doing today? My name is Gina and I am doing okay. I wanted to just get on here for just a quick second because I did not feel comfortable with just jumping right into the video without discussing what is going on in the world right now. Part of me thought, just do, business as usual because especially like people like me that have anxiety, talking about it like kind of makes you even more anxious. And a lot of people, I'm one of them, have been watching different videos to try to keep my mind off of it. But on the other hand, I also didn't feel comfortable with making it business as usual when there is such a serious thing going on in our world. So I just wanted to come on and say really quickly that I think we'll be okay. Let's just heed what our government is telling us to do. Now, I don't like being told what to do by the government. I like my freedom and I love my rights. But in a case like this, we've got to stop thinking about our just individual and we need to start thinking about community-wise. So it is very serious. It's more serious than what I thought it was when it first happened. I thought it was just the flu. I am pretty confident that we're going to be okay. I mean, I really do, but it is serious though, and we need to take it seriously, and we need to listen to what the CDC and WHO is recommending and what our government is recommending us to do. So let's just band together. We'll weather this storm. I'm sure we're going to push through and make it through. But if you have high anxiety about it, like I do, what I've been doing is I've stopped looking at things like on social media, stop looking at the news. I might do it just once a day just to see what's happening, and because every day there's new information, right? But that's about it. I'm not obsessed with it, but I know if I see a lot of it, especially like on social media, it just makes me really anxious because Barry and Amanda are still going to work. Amanda especially, she is an essential part of the community, so she has to go to work. And I think they're also trying to make what my husband do be considered an essential part of the community. So he might always have to go to work even if we're all quarantined. As far as my governor of my state, he has stated that he doesn't foresee us doing that. But of course, things can change. So right now we're not being quarantined like other states. I know other states, the governor has said you cannot go out unless you're going for food or whatever. So, but we're not there yet in my state. But they're taking precautions. They're washing hands. Barry wears gloves. And Amanda just keeps her hand sanitizer on her and just is using it constantly all day long. And so I think we'll be okay though. I'm pretty sure we will be. But we need to just band together and just, stay home if you don't have to go anywhere. Anyway, let us start this video. I want to get this going because I want to have some fun today. I want to quit thinking about all the scary stuff going on, and let's just do it, shall we? So I'm going to turn you over and we're going to go look down below like we always do. And so yeah. All right, y'all. Let's get to... Okay, let's see what we're doing today. Let's see, what are we doing today? Let's see. I just want to mix it up really good. Use Indian inks? Whoa. Well, that's a new one, isn't it? Wow, I haven't used Indian inks in forever and a day. All right. Well, I guess that means I need to do a journal page to use Indian inks. Wow. All right, so let me think about what I want to do. And I'll be back. Okay, the first thing that I did was I have this napkin, and I went ahead and took it apart. Usually napkins are 2-ply, so I took the backing off. so that I would have just the white. And I'm going to show you my stamps. Of course, I use my swirly stamp. Ditto, I think, is the name of it. And then I have this stamp that says hope, dream, love, celebrate. Yeah, on it. So I was like, this is such an appropriate stamp for right now. So I'm going to use that. And I just have a piece of foam down because I'm going to be stamping on the thin tissue part of the napkin. And I'm using my archival inks. I'm using archival inks, and I'm also using the distressed archival inks. So I'm using both of those. And then here are my alcohol, not my alcohol, I'm sorry, my Indian inks, which are magenta, blue, yellow, green. And I got them from P.H. Martin, Bombay. So there was like, I think 12 of those little containers in a kit. I got it from Hobby Lobby. And I just put them in the liquid into the spray bottle and added a little bit of water. And I've had these for years, literally. And they're holding up just fine. And then I'm showing you the Pitt pens. These are Indian inks. So I'm going to be using Pitt pens as well. Because that is the challenge, Indian inks. And then I think I'm going to use this stamp from Simon Says Stamp that I got out of one of the kits that I was subscribed to. So I'm starting with the Dream stamp there, and I'm just using the black archival ink and I'm not worried about if the words come out perfectly. I kind of don't care. I just wanted the words on there because I'm going to end up tearing them up anyway. So now I'm using the Indian inks and spraying them onto the paper. I'm just using blue, yellow, and green in this, and I love these Indian inks. I'm so glad that this was the challenge this week because they are so vibrant, y'all. I've missed using them. And I'm squirting water on it because you can, as long as they're not dry, you can put water on them and they'll act kind of like a watercolor. But once they're dry, they are permanent and you can't take anything off. So I dried it with a hairdryer, and now I'm going back in with more ink just to have it, more saturated. And I'm also going to use some salt on it. It's just sea salt that I'm going to end up putting on it just to give it an extra texture. There that is, putting sea salt on there. And again, I will use a hairdryer to dry it, and then I'm just taking a paper towel to kind of get that sea salt off. It just helps scrub it off a little bit better than just using your hand. And I just love these colors. I love it. The only thing I'm not crazy about is my blue had just a stream. It wasn't like a mist out, and I don't like that one line that's the horizontal, down the middle there. I'm not crazy about that, but it is what it is. And now I'm just using the Simon Says stamp and colors to match the colors of the Indian inks to create my background. I really loved the way that this stamp looked. I thought it looked so pretty. So I used blue and I used some green, and there I'm using a little bit of yellow to stamp on the background. And I really loved it. I loved the way that looked. I was really, really happy with that. I didn't know how it was going to end up looking, but And here I have to put my swirl in. It's I always use this, it seems. The problem, well, it wasn't really a problem, but using the blues, they kind of just melded into the blue and you really couldn't see it. So it was hard for me to find a blue that you could actually tell what was going on with it, But I like the way that it ended up looking. You can see it a little bit in the blue up at the top that it was used. So, but that is my favorite stamp. And now I'm just taking that tissue or part of that napkin, and I'm going to use matte medium to put it down onto the page. And I want to make sure that I get it good and covered, because when you use Pitt pens over matte medium, because the matte medium is kind of slick, it helps to, you can move around the ink better. So I went ahead and let that dry for a little bit. I did hit it with the hair dryer for just a few seconds, and then I let it dry on its own for probably about 30 minutes before I cut the edges off. And now I'll be taking the Dream stamp again and using the espresso color, not black. I was going to go with black, and I was like, I don't think I want it that dark, because I wanted it to go down on the bottom to kind of balance what was put up top with down at the bottom. And I just love this background. I'm really happy with it. And now I'm going to take some black Indian ink, the PH Martin, and water it down, and I'm going to go ahead and do some splatters with it. And then I'm going to take some PH Martin, it's the bleed proof white ink, which I'm pretty sure it's Indian ink, and I'm going to dilute that a little bit, and I'm going to do white splatters. So I have some white and black just to contrast and to kind of pull in that black wording up in the clouds. That's what I was envisioning, those little pieces of the napkin being our clouds up at the top of the sky. And now I'm just going to carefully rip out the bird and the flower from the napkin, and I again will use the fluid matte medium to adhere it to the page. And I'll put a pretty good amount on the top of it, because again, I wanted it to make sure that I had a good amount on there, because I planned on using the markers to kind of color in the bird and the flower to kind of make it stand out a little bit better. So at first I was patting down the napkin to make sure that it didn't wrinkle too much. I didn't mind if it wrinkled because I like the texture. And then I added another layer on, and then I kind of used a paper towel to sop up what was kind of just laying on the page. And I let this dry overnight. I didn't use a hair dryer. I let it dry overnight, because you really, really want that matte medium to be completely dry before you use your markers on it, or you're going to ruin your markers. And we don't want to do that. So I just took different colors and the yellows and greens and just kind of colored in the bird. And I had a mishap with my files. I don't know what happened, but I lost a little bit of what I did. But I just took a black micron pen and kind of outlined the bird and kind of drew in the leaves of the rose and the petals of the rose and the leaves itself. Then I used some white gel pen to kind of put a little bit of highlights in there. And now I'm just writing in hope, wish, and dream, and kind of put the definition down that was off of the stamp, to kind of finish it off, to kind of remind us that we, can hope and wish and dream. And then that will be pretty much it. I really love how this piece came out. I'm so glad that this was this week's challenge. I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, please, 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 I cannot express enough to go ahead and like the video. And if you're not subscribed, please, please subscribe. It will just help my channel, and I would so much appreciate it. So yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Y'all be good to one another, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.